Hello, and welcome to Wyverns Weirdos, The Journey Home. I'm your Dungeon Master, Darby, and joining me as always are Zoe, playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, Emily, playing Beatrice, Laura, playing Conrad, and Johanna, playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. Let's jump into it. Left off, the party were dealing with their arrival in Port-de-Marly, and took a bit of a rest because it was a rough time getting ready in the morning because of some attacks from dragon cultists on the tavern they were staying at. But they managed to get to Port-de-Marly's Cobalt Soul archive, where they were supplied with a space to rest up, in which Conrad overheard by one of the windows the conversation between two figures, one of which was 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, that was recognized from Avernus as part of Archon's gang. 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 sent her cat familiar, Harold, to follow, discovering the safe house that they had gone off to in the meantime. However, Harold was himself spotted by the figure 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 was with, presumably 𝗖𝗔𝗧 of the Cult of the Caustic Heart, who proceeded to cast the spell on Harold, promptly destroying his current form.
R.I.P. Harold. Pour one out in the chat, y'all.
And that was the moment we left on.
You said Harold is dead. Oh, what happened?
Well, and she is still blinking away because she was in Harold's, brain when he got, unfortunately, yeeted. And she shakes it off and she just looks sad. And she's just like, well, they spotted him, and apparently cats just don't jump on windowsills in Port-de-Marly, so they magicked him.
Oh, 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
They saw you.
Well, they saw Harold.
They might be the way over here then if they figured out if they knew that was a creature then and not a real cat somehow, then that's... How could you be so careless?
He's a black cat.
Of course, pacing around the little room that we're in, his hand in his right, feel like, oh no, in case looking out the window to see if anyone's coming. In a sharp contrast, of course, we'll be like, oh no, this is an upsetting thing for you, 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, was upset, but now Conrad's kind of got her freaking out about that because she's already in a vulnerable headspace. And
yes,
she's
it's not every day that cat goes poof,
He did not. He jumped up like a cat.
Yes, but you say now he dead, so he go poof, right?
I wasn't there when he
was a
went
real
back to the
cat.
celestial realm.
If he was a real cat and they did something, there would be body.
Hope she doesn't
Well,
just go about killing cats.
Who kills a cat?
Unpleasant people would.
Very unpleasant. I'm very hungry. Priorities. Is Harold okay? He's not dead for real, is he?
No, Harold. I can get Harold back. I just need an hour. But Kaliana, can she trace us back via Harold?
I don't know. Might be possible, but it's not any magic that I'm aware of.
Either way, we should be careful. I do not know whether our clansmen are in league with whoever this is, but, it's not really a good thing. So either way, we should make haste to whatever it is we are doing. Will we be safe here in this city? And he looks out the window again, because we're near the ocean, aren't we? It's like a portside town.
Yeah, there's a port town, Port Damali.
And just kind of looks out again furtively, then just kind of stops and just looks at the ocean contemplatively. I've never seen the sea.
Really?
No.
I'm not the biggest fan.
No. Well, yes. We should find a place to move, regardless. But carefully. We do not want to be found.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we're in a library. We can. Certainly, I assume the Cobalt Soul is well protected.
True, potentially. Would be good to utilize if we need to find information.
Well, maybe that's what we do. If they have worked out that it is a familiar that was sent after them, then potentially they are thinking that we will not be far behind. So either they would assume that killing Harold has scared us off and we've run off to do something else, or they would assume we are on our way. Maybe the best thing we can do is hide in plain sight and just research in the library for a while, work out what we can about Arkan and these cults. I don't know, I'm biased.
Potentially true. There is merit in this.
You mentioned a mention of days, didn't you, Conrad?
You probably did, but I did not write them down. Conrad would remember.
Would have noticed, yes, that it was said
just a few
4
days.
days.
4.
Yes. It was a few days, 4, I believe. So, sometime, but not much.
Yes.
For whatever it is. Their confidence in hoping that they will succeed in their task in either way. Just depends on how well founded their confidence is.
That is the question, isn't it? But also, with what your friend's searching for, how much time will we have to do what we need to do to stop them?
I am not certain. It is a difficult thing. I have not been able to predict things in quite some time. Not since... And yet this library may be useful. He kind of looks over a little more of a glint to his eyes, with furtiveness. It remains to be seen. We do not have many direct leads, apart from a place where they kill magical cats. And barging straight into there is not going to go very well if they're already on the alert. So, I do not know what to do.
We should probably warn everybody that it's only 4 days, yes? That's it.
Yes.
Back to Beauregard and Widogast?
Yes, this is true. Siva, you should do your magic to do that.
Odinkainen?
Yes. Oh god. Sevia like just does the little flappy hands she always does when she's suddenly like, things. She kind of looks as if she wants to physically spin in a little circle but can't. Oh god, why do they use so many third levels in combat? She's gonna have to upcast it.
Have you not gained any back from
I gained back other ones from my short rest.
Okay.
Sevia she contacted Mordenkainen before, and in a meta sense, I want to hear Darby do some fun accents. So Sevia is going to contact Caleb.
All right.
She will do her little hand gestures, and she will cast a sending. So, Caleb. Sorry, Master Widogast. Sevia here. We located one of Arkin's men and a cult leader. They move in 4 days. Just FYI. That is her sending.
Okay. 4 days is not a lot of time. I will see what I can do, but I do not think there is time to tarry in the meantime.
Sevia will upcast and send another sending.
Mhm.
So, do you think we should attack the safe house or... Also, please tell 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 and also Mordenkainen. People should probably know this.
Yeah, if you are capable and not exhausted, push ahead. I will pass your message on.
Okay, Sevia says. She was muttering everything and people would see her counting on her fingers. But out loud, she goes, okay. Sending is not really a great avenue to deliver someone all of the facts. Caleb says we should not tarry. and should, press on to the safe house. However, Caleb is also not here. So, and well, I don't answer to Caleb, I answer to all of you. So, team?
In my assessment, we do not know what information is to be gleaned from there, apart from that it may potentially be part of the cult that you were previously housed in, Caliana. My thoughts are then it would be better. I do not know how quietly we can sneak through the city and how well received we will be if Arcan's men are around here. And potentially, if the other group is separate to him, they may also be aware of us, but and for a similarly bad reason. So my inclination will be to wait for nightfall to investigate the safe house. However, we do not have enough information to determine the urgency. It's so frustrating. Running through training drills is so much easier because you can calculate the risk and weigh the outcome. But here I have no understanding. We do not know how big the group are. We do not know what forces are at work here beyond a couple. It's frustrating.
I agree with Conrad. We do not have enough information to press on. We do not know what is waiting for us at the safe house. It very well could be trap.
I think that's right. There's not really any way of knowing, and I'm definitely no tactician, but if we wait, that guarantees that they'll move or that they will lay a trap. Whereas we all gather more forces or go to Arkan, where if we try to attack now, then we could potentially achieve something.
It also means that if someone gets back to us and tells us that we need to do something in a certain amount of time, then we have time. We have our countdown now. We just don't know how much we're going to have to do in that time.
Yes, it would be so much easier if we had a precise list of tasks to achieve and things to work towards, but frustrating. And then that stupid noble would have just let me go to the cult meeting. Ugh, ridiculous.
Well, from where I'm standing, splitting things down the middle is the idea that we wait until nightfall. We're still handling it today, but we can maybe cram what information we can in and go in as prepared as we can be. There's a...
Good.
Yes. One thing we can potentially glean, if she knew Harold, dear Harold, was a magical cat from the jump and not just a normal cat, because I would like to believe that even if she's part of an evil dragon cult, that she wouldn't just go around doing the equivalent of kicking a cat. Potentially she can sense magic. So that... Either that or she's just mean, which from what Kaliana says is also very highly possible. But, there is chance for us to maybe get the jump of a sort if we use this time to maybe prepare ourselves for that. They will be expecting us to come from the front with magic blazing, so maybe we sneak in from the back and use magic from behind. I've lost my metaphor, but I feel like you understand what I'm saying, yes?
This is well possible. I think this is a good thought. We should utilize the time we have here wisely then. We should also be careful not to move in large group because that will be easier to notice while we move through the city outside of this place here.
I should also ask, how are all of you going for abilities? Are you capable of fighting if we need to?
I have my sword.
I have what I need.
I've only got a couple more charges of magic, but it's not my main method of fighting anyway.
Okay. Miss Beatrice?
I have a little bit left.
All right. So it might be hard going, but doable, especially with a bit of plan and a bit of fight.
Yes. Well, when pressed, we do what we ever do. Just try to survive. We're pretty good at that so far. And he kind of, because he's again like looking sort of half out the window again, and just sort of like absent-mindedly like fiddles with the collar of his shirt, shirt, as he's looking at like, well, most of the time anyway.
We've survived more with less, certainly. Well, then, how long is it until sunset, Darby?
So, it's still fairly early. Because you were
lunchtime.
attacked at breakfast. So yes, it is probably about it's probably still about 6-7 hours before sunset.
Well, we have a decent amount of time. I say we all do what we can to do the dang thing. Look, I'm just going to read. You know that's what I'm going to do. That's all I know how to do. So I will read a lot, and hopefully that will help us out.
Good. Beatrice, you and I should investigate city when we can. Perhaps not at the same time, but perhaps... no, perhaps around the same time, but in different space. Close enough to... And, like, we will test away. I think I can speak to you from distance, so that should work. So you are also good at stealth, but Beatrice has particular skill sets. Besides, I'm sure you want to spend time with your savior. Yes, that's what you do, right?
Yes, thank you, God.
In a relationship, yes.
Ha!
I'll try to do some reading as well.
Celia does the
Yes.
uwu face.
I don't have a perception. Conrad looks over Sevia and his eyes glance over her neck. He's like, yes, reading.
I forgot about the hickey.
And his mouth curls into one of those horrible little grins he does, and then he looks back out at the window again, cursively.
Sevia watches him do this, is like, why is he grinning? And then it's like, oh no! Pulls her little scarf tighter.
All right. So, what do folks want to achieve before tonight?
Find the book labeled How to Defeat Archon 101 for
Such a
dummies.
book does not exist.
How do you?
Okay, I look for the book that says How to Seduce Archon 101.
That book also does not exist.
Oh,
Really?
Weird. All right, keep your secrets then, Gandalf.
Seems fake.
Yeah.
Well, Conrad is going to spend a little bit of time looking very like just like as if he was like, oh yeah, I'll have a quick look through the library, and then he kind of just desperately is looking through the different titles to see if there's anything that like he's drawn to or that can help him on his own personal stuff.
Okay.
And then he will eventually also go and scope out the town.
Yeah. Roll me an investigation check.
Okie dokie. He may not. That's a 9.
9.
He's being a little bit too rushed, and he's also trying too hard to look like he doesn't care.
Yeah. I think the closest you spot is something that's like Tales of the Shadowfell. And you take it out and you open it up and it's just a book of like ghost stories for children.
Fairy stories. And he just like drops on the ground unceremoniously and stalks around. I keep looking through the shelves for a bit.
Yeah.
That's what Conrad does for the first kind of little portion of that time.
Yeah.
We'll cover the other one later, I guess.
Yeah.
Flull's going to look for books on military strategy.
Okay.
And general like strategy.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check.
Ooh, that's not great. 9.
9. Again.
Brother, siblings,
Both
matching.
9s.
You find like baby's first military strategy, and it's like very like Bowtherized stories of like famous battles of history. Like there's nothing to be gleaned of actual strategy in this book.
Fair.
Like the equivalent of a children's book covering like World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, various ancient wars.
These were wars that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
a very simplified, child-friendly version of why they happened.
Yes. I guess, Full just kind of flick through that. Yeah, probably looking like somewhat stressed, and just be like, come on, Kitteth, give me some answers on what to do. They're just gonna keep looking for strategy books initially.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what he does for the first half.
Yeah.
This is Sevia's happy place. This is her favorite terrain. Beatrice isn't a ranger anymore. It's not as fun to say.
Still a little bit of a ranger.
That's right. Little bit.
Yeah. Enough to have a favorite terrain.
There we go. So, she's looking for anything about, same as the library, she's looking for anything about Tiamat. She's looking for potentially any information on cults in the area. She's looking for anything to do with these particular cults, figuring there might be some documentation on them if Kaliana has made it out alive. And yeah, so she's mostly looking for information on Tiamat, on cults, and on this cult in particular.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check.
Okay. Please, little dice. Oh, fuck! Investigation?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes.
This should be on a t-shirt. It's like every time Darby's like, hey, Zoe, I want Stevie to investigate something. You're like, oh no, that was a bad roll. Oh wait, she has a great modifier. Every time, like clockwork.
I
What is it?
forget. On a 5, that is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Yeah.
You don't find anything on the Cult of the Caustic Heart.
Okay.
They are
That's fair,
far too
that's fair.
secretive for that.
Okay.
You do, however, find some stuff on Tiamat and her worship here. So her foremost worshippers are chromatic dragons. And she's generally seen to be in charge of greed, envy, and hoarded wealth. They, because of this, her worship includes basically anyone who craves wealth, as well as those particularly connected to chromatic dragons. She is a dragon of immense size, with 5 vicious draconic heads, each one a chromatic. But this you know, you've seen her.
I keep forgetting we've seen her.
But she is opposed to the Platinum Dragon.
Ex-girlfriends.
No. No. For one thing, the Platinum Dragon is male.
Oh, then definitely not. Tiamat's
Boyfriend
clearly a
then.
lesbian.
Yeah. Also,
One of the
Tiamat-
heads dated him.
Well, no, Tiamat, I believe, has 5 essentially concubine dragons.
Living the dream.
I'm not sure whether they're specifically male or female or otherwise. But,
we know. Dragons are inherently sapphic.
but they're also in some tellings, they are also her children.
I take back those things I said.
But yeah, pretty much all that may very well just be an extension of the idea of all chromatic dragons being said to have been descended from her in some way. Whether or not it is true is unclear. On top of that, it is said that when Tiamat actually does have children herself, she, in an effort to consolidate and avoid secession of her power, if any children born to her present with more than one head, she will often kill them before they have the chance to mature. She is incredibly ruthless. And she is immune to the classic 5 elements of draconic breath weapons. So that is fire, cold, lightning, acid, and poison. So all 5 completely immune to them. Beyond
Immune to that damage or just to them as breath weapons?
Immune to that damage.
Okay.
Beyond that, there's nothing to necessarily indicate what would take her down.
Okay. Okay. In all of that, would there have been any mention of Arkan?
No. You could possibly make another search with some time. Because you're not planning on going out, you can make another search if you're planning on trying to find anything on Arkan.
Yep, I would like to do that. Or
Alright.
anyone preceding Arkan
Okay.
who has tried to bring her about before. Is that another investigation?
Yes.
24.
24. Okay. So you
Not
don't-
disgusting.
No. So you don't find anything on any predecessors to Arkan.
Okay.
But you do find something on, and it captures your eye because it does seem somewhat connected to this. And that is the idea of banishing a god. It seems to be a fairly recent book from probably the past 20 years. If it's older, it's not by much. And it details a similar, what you read into as being a similar occurrence to what is happening, or what the Cult of the Caustic Heart are trying to do, and that is the tale of the Cult of the Whispered One, who a few decades ago were dedicated to the ascension of a lich known as Vecna to godhood. What is interesting is that Arkan does make an appearance in this tale. Arkan was present for Vecna's defeat and banishment at the hand of a group of adventurers known as Vox Machina. And once Vecna's... At the time of Vecna's banishment, Arkan claimed the hand of Vecna and replaced his own hand with it. You take that to be the undead skeletal hand that he has. And from what you gather, the members of Vox Machina, they had some sort of way through, at least in part, assistance from the gods to banish Vecna. This method is not necessarily known to the writer of the book, and they speculate that possibly only one person may have any clue as to how it was done.
Who?
A man by the name of Percival de Rollo.
Ha. Okay. Okay.
Who's said to reside in Whitestone, on the continent of Taldore.
Where we just came from a couple days ago. Okay, Stevie is like...
You do note that that the names of the name of Keyleth, who in particular, Yeah, any of you who were teleported via the plants would know Keyleth.
Yes, we all met Keyleth, but Conrad knows her best. Or at the very least knows her bodyguard. Aurum. Okay, Sevia's doing that thing she does where she's like standing in the bookshelves and she doesn't notice anyone else, and she's like flicking through this book and she reads this passage. She kind of looks up dramatically. There's like soft anime lighting in the background. Anyone walking past would kind of hear her in very unlibrary-like etiquette, muttering to herself, just being like, okay. So if she comes here, there is a way to banish her. Arkan is just a man. Get the gods on our side. Arkani, do you have any sway here?
In the background, Conrad just looks over at Fall and just raises a manicured eyebrow.
So your girlfriend's talking to the sky again, bro.
Roll me a percentile.
Ooh. For Arkani, I'm going to use some sparkly blue dice. 32.
32. You feel a faint warmth at the asking of that question.
Okay. She does a couple little happy bops. Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay. So maybe we weaken his resources. Talk to this Percival. Arkan is just a man.
Any luck there, Sevia?
Ah!
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Sorry, she says to whatever Cobalt Soul librarian just gave her a glare. I might have something. We'll see what everyone's investigation comes up with, but I might have not a solid lead, but a something.
That's good. I knew you'd be able to find something here.
Oh, darling. Well, sorry, Conrad, she says as she spots him over Fall's shoulder.
He's making a face.
Sorry.
Oh, I can't say I had much luck myself. I don't know much about strategy. Like, what's the right thing to do in this kind of situation? Like, some monks of Kitef end up being like tactical advisors and such for battle, but that's not really something our monastery liked, or at least said they liked, so I'm not really skilled in that.
Oh, that's fair. You'll forgive me, my darling, that doesn't seem like a skill set you would actually be particularly interested to learn outside of this specific context.
I mean, no, I definitely would have hated that back then. I just think it would be quite useful now. All these things that we come up again, we have to... I mean, there's no peaceful solution against people like this.
No. There isn't. But we're doing our best, aren't we? She reaches out and takes Fall's hand.
Yes, I think we've muddled through it quite well. I think it's just not being in some kind of weird tomb or something, following all these riddles. Just, I don't know, engaging in a kind of warfare like back home. It's harder to know what to do. What the right course of action is.
I don't pretend to know how to help with that. I fortunately was far from the war. But we will survive.
Yes, that's right. And I mean, you found something to help, so you're doing very well.
Well, if you want, I think I have found all that I can solo. Do you want to look together? Maybe I can help find something for you.
Certainly.
If you want. If not, we can do something else to prepare. I have things to do. I can resummon Harold. Or there is, if it's all right with you, darling, there is something I will need to talk to Conrad about in private at some point, but that can happen later. But I can help you if you want. If not, we can do something else.
Certainly, I guess I'd appreciate maybe just for a little while. I don't know how much I'm going to learn by studying old battles or anything. They're not super relevant.
Yes, historians tend to forget that people reading this won't always be people who, were there. This one's actually quite good. It talks about Vox Machina. I think is how it's pronounced. I'm only reading it. I haven't really heard anyone say it out loud. And that Keyleth we met, the lovely lady with the antlers and the very low-cut dress, she
yes.
was part of it.
Oh, nice. Yes, they so this Vox Machina is their venturing group.
They were many, many years ago. They're all, voices of the Tempest and that Darrington fellow said it. It's Machina, I think. Is that how he said it? I think that's how he said it. But he was part of it briefly, although he's not really mentioned in this book. But
yes, I guess. That's
yes.
Wow. Imagine to be in the history books. I wonder
We might someday.
Maybe so.
Imagine that. Oh, we don't even have a cool name.
No, we don't. I don't know what we would call us. Howard, we're an odd group.
We are. So, maybe no one will notice and we just call ourselves Vox Machina and then people will be like, wow, they're so cool. I mean, they don't exist.
I mean, they're different.
We can just say it. We could just lie.
World. We can steal a name. Yeah. I don't know what it means though.
We're Vox Machina. No, I don't. No one has quite explained what it means.
Yeah, if it's a different language or something. But no, it sounds cool.
It does. It genuinely does. A little VM for short. It's quite catchy.
It's very cool.
But
yes, maybe just a little bit more searching the books. And then, I don't know, you can go and do whatever task you wish. I might have an idea about disguises that I can work on so we don't get recognized.
That might help. I can disguise myself as well. Well, look, I I just need to have a brief word with Conrad, but then we can work on things together, even if we're doing separate things. I just like being with you, so...
Yeah, same. Always.
Always.
He will give her...
you go.
Oh, he'll give her a kiss on the cheek.
I was going to say the same thing. Cecilia just like...
They
blushes.
bonk into each other's heads.
Yeah, they just bonk.
It turns into a kiss on the lips.
Yes. Accidental
No.
smooch.
I will
Yes.
say, by the time it took you to do both searches, I would suspect that if Conrad and Beatrice were going to be doing their explanation, they're probably doing that at the moment. Now, was there anything that Beatrice wanted to get done before exploring?
No,
No. Okay, so
probably just sitting in a corner looking surly.
fair. So in that case, I might get Beatrice and Conrad. So you are going off separately? Was that right?
Yes. So Conrad is like, I think after he's, given up trying to look sort of stuff in the library, he just angrily throws a book to the ground and strides over to Beatrice. So like, I think we should investigate city.
All right.
So
Good.
individually, I will need you to each roll an investigation check and a stealth check.
Yep. And before they do that, so Conrad's like, okay, now first off, I want you to go into another room. Yes?
Okay.
Then they just wait.
It just toddles off and finds a spare room somewhere.
Cool. And Conrad kind of like tenses up a bit and then just like looks over at, Seeger and Fall both investigating the library and then just like kind of grimaces and sort of like just not like do really intensely, but sort of like braces his hand against the wall and closes his eyes and just like frowns, like his brow knitted in concentration. And he whispers, and this is the Gathered Whispers feature. So
Yeah.
he gets message as a cantrip, I believe, or something.
Yes,
But
but
it's
it is a
like
crowd of whispers.
yeah. So it's like the souls basically. It's basically like your patron, or like some entity of your patron, like they whisper into it's just ear. And what Conrad says is, Beatrice.
Beatrice.
Do you hear this?
Do you hear
That's creepy.
Oh, creepy.
The fun
Alright.
fact is, the fun fact is that it returns with those voices.
Oh.
So you don't hear Beatrice going, "That's creepy." You hear, "That's creepy." That's creepy.
Oh. Karen just kind of like tries to look smug, but is also like, "Oh, that was weird." Okay. And then he just pulls back from the wall and just strides out, and then tries to find Beatrice. Knocks on the door. Is like, "I think that worked." Yes.
Yes, I heard all the voices, yes.
Good. Well, there we go. Solution. So we can investigate, and as long as we're not too far from each other, I believe, depending on the reach that my magic has, we shall be able to communicate if any difficulty happens. So if we find any useful information, I will tell you.
So your stealths and your investigations, please.
So I got a nat 20 on stealth, which it makes it a 28.
Nice.
And I got an 18 on investigation. Oh, hang on. That's before my modifier. 25 for investigation.
5.
For
Okay.
beards.
Nice. Conrad rolled a 17 on stealth, but he has a crazy modifier. That's his Beatrice. That's his CV modifier. So he got a 32 stealth. as he tries to sort of, pull.
Yep.
Does actually put his coat back on again, the really fancy boy coat, which he hasn't been wearing for a bit, and then just like turns the collar up and slips into the morning crowd. I rolled garbage for investigation. I rolled like a 4, which is like a 7, so I'm gonna burn the inspiration point that I have for Conrad.
Okay.
And hopefully roll better. Yes, absolutely roll better. So 23.
23. Okay. Yeah, so, is there anything in particular that the two of you are looking for? Because you probably find it. I just would like to know what your focus is.
Beatrice is probably once again looking for any sort of whispers about the cult, about whether anybody knows that something's coming and whether anybody is sort of talking about where it might occur.
You hear a couple of rumors of potential targets. One that pops up a bit is Imon. Another that pops up almost as much is let me find it. It would be in another that where is it? This one. Another is Rexentrum. And another is Vasselheim. Conrad, what are you looking out for or listening out for?
So Conrad is more generally trying to get an idea of any active threats currently in this city. So he's going to keep an eye out for, again, any kind of presence of Arcan's men and also potentially the other groups that we've been worried about.
Okay.
So yeah, he just, for a security point of view, he wants to know how careful we have to be around the city.
You don't see many major sources of threat. However, there are a few like small clusters of suspicious-looking individuals as you get kind of closer to where the safe house is.
Okay, that's fair. Well, Cora's like, that's probably the place that Sevia saw. And then, yeah, he looks back into the crowd just to generally get an overview of the city as well, of course. So then I think at a certain point he when he sort of thinks there's some time has passed, he probably just goes and just sits at the edge of the pier or something, just looks at the sea for a while.
Yeah.
But he's not really relaxed because he's still very tense because he still needs to find shit for his patrons and he's not able to. Yeah. That's fun. Has a little think about the dream he had last night.
Yeah. Okay.
And eventually he messages Speech and says not much information.
Not much information. Not much information.
I think I know where the safe house is. That's about it.
That's about it. That's about it.
That's about it.
Now I will note, as you are thinking upon your patrons, I might get you to roll me a let's say let's say a wisdom save for this one.
Okay. a wisdom save. 10.
10. Okay, so you kind of feel yourself starting to doze off a little into this daydream of like thinking on the patrons.
That's fair. It's been
But kind of
disassociating a fair bit.
shake yourself out of it before it goes too far, before you go in too deep.
Yeah, and he just like shakes his head and just like starts a little bit like, I did not get enough sleep last night, I suppose.
But you do note that at this point it appears that the sun is beginning to set.
And he kind of looks up at the sun and just looks a bit bewildered, like just shakes his head again, like, how much? No matter. And pulls himself up to his feet and looks around, and then will make his way back to the library.
All right. I imagine Beatrice is also making her way back to the library.
Correct.
Yeah.
She would not have gone anywhere near the pier, because Beatrice doesn't like the ocean.
Of course. So when you get back, Callie says, so did you find anything?
Nothing much useful. Seems to be some gathering around where I presume the safe house is, of similar sorts to sympathizers I've seen in the past.
Okay.
So there's certainly some presence there. I was looking for any other view of Arcano's men or anything else, but we seem to be mostly safe. But yes, that is all. Anything useful you have gleaned?
Yes. There's whispers that nobody knows exactly where something big will go down, but something big is going to go down. There's about 4 places that people think. There Rexentrum. Beatrice would know what all the names were. She would remember
She would also
Amon
remember
and
that there was
Hasselheim?
3.
Yeah, there were only 3.
Emon, Vasselheim, Rexentrum, if you want to do your fun accents, because I like that bit you were doing.
That being said, I wrote it down, but I also wrote them down as being names of people, so.
So it was Rexentrum, Vasselheim, or Iman. I do not know any of those places. I don't know what.
Yes, so that means nothing to me, of course.
I don't know. Maybe something has happened in one of them before. It'd make it more likely that something happened.
They're all capitals. Rexentrum's the capital here. Vasselheim is considered the birthplace of civilization. It's one of the longest lasting cities. One of the most ancient cities. It's the capital of I'm just making sure. It's the capital of Thansia in Vasselheim. Or in 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. And it's very religious, as far as I understand, and is known as the Dawn City, or the Cradle of Creation. Thought to be the origin of civilization. It's roughly where and yeah, Sevia, that would ring true with you, as that was about where the battle between Vox Machina and Vecna took place. Imon is the capital of Taldore, and 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is big city up in Wild Mount. So sounds like they're going for somewhere big.
So a few options. Difficult to say which.
Maybe.
Potentially. Sorry, Kaliana, you go.
No, you first. I'm still thinking.
Oh, I was just going to say, potentially, the safe house might have more information that narrows it down.
Yeah.
We
think
could
that's
hope for a map with a large X on it, but... So, that could be something. I will note, Sevia has some stage makeup on at the moment.
Yes. Fall is currently working to using his disguise kit to just kind of try to change Sevia's appearance. I will say I rolled a 34, so
Okay.
I guess he's got hair chalk in her hair to make it a bit of a different color. She's got heavy makeup on, maybe a little scar across her face drawn on or something, so she looks quite different.
I will note, Sevia does have disguised person, or disguised self, but Fall just looks so excited, so she didn't point that out.
Adorable.
I mean,
But
disguise
yes.
self is limited to an hour, so...
Yes. So, I guess if we were already thinking of... Do we still think it is worth attacking the safe house? I know, Conrad, you went to the effort of scoping it out. You have the best idea of the risk.
It is difficult. The problem here is we do not know the direct connection. This may just be a separate group, cult group, and if they have nothing to do with our camp, then it's a problem, but not as pressing as the time frame we have been given. So, difficult one.
We know that that Sarissa and Beauregard was speaking, though, don't we?
There was implication.
Yeah. So, did you see Beauregard in the safe house, Sevia?
Harold did, yes.
Okay, so that's the best lead we've got.
Well, that is
Now.
useful information, yes. Okay, well, we can
sorry.
assume that then.
Potentially he has struck out on his own, but more than likely, much like Arkan's turtle friend, he's making connections. So...
Yeah, she could
There
be
we
a
go.
threat. Oh, it's just... What lead to follow up first?
We do not have much time either way. This could potentially just be a trap that will waste our time. Or it could be useful.
Oh, I don't know.
I think we should do it if we've got some evidence that she's involved, and when we're right here as well. And she killed Harold, which is quite horrible. So even if she's not connected, we'd still be taking out someone who's involved in a cult, or at least looking into what's going on there. all we have so far is some locations, so we might be stuck. Once we go there with no information, maybe this way we can get a little bit of information at least.
Yeah,
I
I think that's what we need to do.
At the very least, even if 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 has struck out on his own, it is a friend to Arkan we are getting rid of. Even if this has nothing to do with anything, it helps us in the long run.
All right. Either way, but if this is, of course, assuming it goes poorly, ideally, we shouldn't need to engage in combat at all. We should just be able to snoop around and get what we need.
Yes, if we can just sneak around, get some information, get out, that would be the best.
That works. We can be sneaky. Look at us. We're all sneaky people.
And
Absolutely.
Beatrice is like just almost like a visceral reaction and like rolls her eyes so hard they almost roll to the back of her head.
I will say that, like, Sevia currently has probably hair that looks like it's been bleached like ginger, and like bold makeup and everything. And Flaws probably disguised themselves as well, and they look like they're more purple tiefling with a purple wig as well. And they've tried to cover up their scarring from the lava, but they haven't quite been able to manage it with all of them. So they're just kind of stuck like a little bandage on, like a little band-aid over their, like, the scarring across their cheekbone.
Yeah.
Yes, very sneaky. Good job.
Sylvia just beams.
Right, I can disguise one of you. You next.
I will be fine.
Really, you could be quite recognizable. Paul says to
It
the least
depends.
recognizable of the group. I don't know.
It depends. I am just better at hiding. And if the nobility around these parts and the previous place we're in are to go by, clearly I'm not very recognizable at all. So, Also, I can turn invisible, so...
Oh, yes, that's a good point. No, I'm sure you'll be fine. Beatrice? Might be able to do something.
I'm all good. And Beatrice just sort of flicks her coat a little, like her cloak a little bit, which she is still wearing Nature's mantle from way back when, which shifts colour depending where she is.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
I might take some help. The scales are quite noticeable.
True. I'll see what I can do.
So roll me a...
Oh god, this is going to be very good. It's like a performance check, is it?
It would probably be a disguise kit check. So that would be your...
Oh, so just a straight 20 plus proficiency?
Probably your it would be your dexterity plus proficiency plus the 20.
Okay. Then the Four's roll with Sevio was like a 25 instead of like a 35. But this one is 25, 26, 27, 28.
28. Okay, yeah, so it's hard to mask the horn. But other than the horn sticking out of her head, you wouldn't be able to tell that that this woman is a half dragon. Or at least a draconic sorcerer with a lot of scales.
A bit of highlighter there. Let's match the foundation. Yep, that's looking all good.
All right.
Yeah, couldn't
Are you ready
recognize
to
you.
get going?
Everyone ready?
As ready as we'll ever be.
Yes, well, we'll see how it goes. And Conrad snaps his fingers and turns invisible.
Okay, can I get everyone to roll me a stealth check as you make your way towards the safe house? Conrad, do so with I'll say do so at advantage because of your invisibility.
31.
31, okay.
24.
24, nice.
25.
25, nice.
Stealth?
Sometimes I really wish I still had Pass Without a Trace.
Sevia?
Uh-oh.
I wish you did too.
I can make
That's a
Xavier invisible.
No, it's fine. That's a 16.
Oh,
This is a
that's
group
good.
check.
That's
It's
good, that's
fine.
good.
Yeah. Okay.
No one nat 1, so I'm safe.
And I rolled a natural 19 for Kaliana, so that's a 26. Alright. So, you make it to the safe house, evading being spotted. The door appears to be locked. Conrad, I believe you tend to be the go-to for this kind of thing.
Absolutely. So it's just like we're looking at the back door, I'm presuming, or is there only a
Yes.
front door?
You'd be
Yeah.
able to get to the back door.
Cool. All right. So y'all don't don't see him, but you kind of like, yeah, like probably while you're pondering to look at this doorway, you hear like, some clicking. You like feel like one of you feels like the brush of like, you know, his arm against you, and some clicking as he. So it's sleight of hand, isn't it, or is it thieves' tool? I can't.
It would be a
Remember.
thieves' tools check.
That's
Yes.
right, which is like proficiency, I think.
Do you have? You probably have.
Like I have thieves' tools, but I don't actually have like a thing
you
to click on it.
Yeah. So you haven't got that second lot of. Where do you get your stealth proficiency from? Is that from your stealth? Where do you? Your expertise. When do you get your? When does the rogue get the second lot of expertise?
I would have no idea.
Because I'm wondering whether you don't seem to have expertise, as far as I can tell, with your thieves' tools. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would be basically a +10.
Okay. So that is a 24.
24. Okay. Oh yes, you do have proficient expertise with your thieves' tools, so it's another +5 on top of that, so 29. You handily unlock this lock.
And then you just hear Conrad like whisper in one of your heads, "Done."
All right.
Done.
Yeah. And you sneak your way inside the safe house, and all of you except for Sevia. Actually, no, Sevia. No, you do have good passive perception now. I was used to you not having the greatest of passive perceptions. But yeah, you all hear some whispering from downstairs, but hard to make out what's being said, but it sounds like Sarissa and Torrigar. And this upstairs area is basically it's looks like a regular house. But let's see what different folks' passive perceptions and investigations are. Conrad, you would spot in the corner of the room there is a trapdoor.
Interesting. So yeah, Conrad doesn't really talk to people much, even though we're being quiet. We walk over and investigate that. He's also just generally looking if there's anything interesting around or places where there might be scrolls or letters or books kept and things like that. But otherwise, he will go over and.
There's not so much things of interest on this floor.
You will investigate the trapdoor then.
Yeah. Okay, roll me an investigation check.
Oh, 16.
16. Seems to be a trapdoor. If you open it, there's probably some way to access a lower level.
Alright, so Conrad is going to carefully sort of try to open it, also keeping an eye out if there's any sort of trap attached to it, or string or whatever.
Okay, yeah, so you open it up, there is no trap. And yeah, you can see from where you are, there are 3 figures down there. There is the form of Torgar, Sarissa, and a young green dragon. Now with that kind of little crack of extra light, I'm gonna roll to see if any of them notice anything amiss. So for Torgar, no. Torgar literally got a 0 on his perception. Okay. And so Torgar, from where you are, Conrad, you see that Torgar and Sarissa are continue talking, and you hear this from the dragon as it kind of crawls towards the trapdoor.
Ooh, I drop this trapdoor and whisper in Beatrice's ear. They're about to come up here.
That is incredibly noisy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
get your weapons ready right now. They're going to come up.
all right. And
Right,
that's where
numbers?
that's where we're gonna leave it for this episode.
Oh boy.
Cool.
Thanks for listening.
Catch you next week.
See you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Sorry for listening.
Toodles.